Just quickly there, I just see some people in the chat there just about Garnacho, and I've seen this a little bit. Is Garnacho overrated? Are we overrating Garnacho? How good is Garnacho? What's the Garnacho thing? Can we just discuss just really quickly, not for too long. There's a couple other things I want to bring to the panel. Just Garnacho, just really quickly. Is he overrated? Are we doing too much?
No.
Is
very good youth potential, very good youth player, very good. Like he's one of the shining lights, really. He's kicked on each time. You can talk about his attitude problem. Garnacho works hard for the team. He tracks back. He was a shining light last season as well. When you talk about outfield players doing something in a mudded side, I wouldn't call him overrated. I think he's probably misvalued, we're maybe expecting a bit too much for him. Remember, he's like, what is he, the same age as Kobe or something? And we don't expect Kobe to do everything for us. I really think that he's going to have games of inconsistency, but a kid coming through we've seen kids, Kiko Macheda, Yanazai. Remember, he's them kids that came through that same path, and we've seen all of them fall by the wayside. But then, yet he's still saying, "Hey, I'm here." He's still saying he's a talent. And let's say if we lost him, we'd be really sad about that.
Very mixed. It's very, very mixed.
I always think that like Ronaldo, like I was quite young when he was growing up, but I always heard that, fans used to get frustrated with Ronaldo when he was really young at United. And I think, Garnacho literally turned 20 like 2 weeks ago or something like that. He's so young, he's raw, his minutes need to be managed. And
I could be generation. Sorry, I just want to clear that for the person that's there. He could be generation. I don't change the fact that he could be I think he's a generational talent. But then again, he has to do we rely on Kobe and Garnacho to score the goals for Man United. So you lot have to understand that. So if you're saying he's dead, then what else? What in terms of what we have? Well, who's going to score the goals? Right now,
this is what I was saying the other day, KG. I said this the other day when the whole thing came up about Leacher again. As a fan base, we overhype and then we overhate at the same time. So they have a couple of good performances, and they are. They're going to win the Ballon d'Or. They're unbelievable. They have a couple of bad performances. They're overrated. They're terrible. They shouldn't play for Manchester United. Rah, rah, rah. And to be honest, that can change in one game. Literally 45 minutes from one half to another. So with Garnacho, Alice is right. And KG's right. If you do take a step back and look at him for his age, he shouldn't be as influential as he was last season. Remember, last season was his first full season because the season 4 was his breakup one. He didn't start playing until later on. And the reason he played so many games, I think he played more than any other wide player last season, because everyone was injured and we had to rely on him too much. And now we expect that he's going to be, he played so much last season, so he's going to be great all the time. He's still 20. He's 20 years old, so he should be managed.
But then I'm
not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that he has been overhyped. He has been overhyped. He has, but also at the same time, because he's still young, if he goes in and out of form, it doesn't mean he's terrible. It doesn't mean he's rubbish. It doesn't mean, that's it, get rid of him or anything like that. Again, we overhype and we overhate. I don't know why we do it.
But then I'm talking about when we have a player that literally the Man United fans, you know what it takes to have expectation when a player's on the ball. I've seen Anthony come on and people feel nothing. In the ground, Garnacho's on the ball, people stand up because they have an air of expectation from this youngster to deliver. That is something. You can't throw that by the wayside and say, that means nothing. No, there's players that get people off their seats because we believe he can do something. So let's not put him down as one of the rubbish ones. He's far from that.
Marcel, what are you saying about Garnacho? Is it overhyped?
He's a really good player, guys. He's a really good player. I just think, his ambition is to make it to Real Madrid. And I look at all the wingers there and I would say he's so many years away from that. He has to start proving something in the Manchester United colours, in terms of lots of games of consistency. But he's got lots of potential. I think he's got a high ceiling in terms of what he could become. Maybe not generational, but he's definitely, we've seen big goals from this player. He can score in big games. He's very direct. And he suits the system, just on what KG was saying before about how Xerxes is playing and how that affects the wingers. It needs runners in behind. It needs players from the wide areas. Garnacho is one of them that always wants to get in behind the defense. So you're going to need him. Even Ahmad's not even that much inclined to get in behind. He likes to link up with players. But, it's going to be hard for him to reach them Real Madrid heights without doing it and carrying, or not carrying, but making big impacts for Manchester United. And he's been struggling. And even last season, we saw him more of someone, as an impact off the bench due to circumstance. Yes, he had to play a lot of games. But right now, he needs to play. Rashford needs to take a month out on the bench, and Garnacho needs to play in a stronger position where he can come in inside, score goals, shoot, take on players, and try and impact the team and the results for us. But I find it very hard for me to believe that he's going to be like a Vinicius, Vinny level or Rodrigo level, and that's why he needs to kind of prove it here first for a good couple.
Does he need to be though? Does he need to be though, like a Vinny level or whatever? Because that's when I get into like, are we setting the expectations really, really high that he might not hit, and then when he doesn't hit them, we're like, oh, he's dead. But he can still develop into a very good player that starts pretty frequently for Manchester United, or at the very least is a very, very, very strong squad player coming off the bench throughout his career. I mean, again, this is a guy that's 20. He's 20 years old in his second full season at Manchester United. We should probably not go super far in how he is going to be a generational talent. He's going to be this, going to be that. But at the same time, if he does go out of form, it's not like he's never going to make it at Manchester United as well.
Sorry,
you have to realise that's what's going to be.
I'm a bit frustrated. Why do we shit on our players, like our youngsters?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. We'll do it with Kobe. I'm telling you now, KG, it will happen with Kobe Mainoo at some point.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand. I really, I'm like, wait a minute. You see these three kids on the bench and stuff. That is literally our future, guys. That is the new Man United, and we want to shit on them, bro. I don't understand. I'm like, wait, what is going on here? This is mad.
What is going on here?
Why can't we be excited about these young players coming in? I got Arsenal fans getting excited about Sterling, Raheem Sterling,
Martinelli,
and we can't be
the same thing as Garnacho.
We can't be excited about Garnacho.
Very, very similar.
He's better than Martinelli.
Yeah, I'm excited, KG. It's just his ambition. I'm only using the reference of Rodrigo and Vinny because that's his ambition. I'm using it on the premise of what he believes he can be, a Real Madrid superstar. And I'm saying, well, he has to be better than Vinicius or Rodrigo to get to that level. That's all I'm saying. I still, like I said, I think he's a good player. I think he needs to be starting right now. But he would have to get to a certain level at Manchester United before we can maybe see him in that light of like a Real Madrid superstar.
When you look at the age in the context of what Garnacho is doing, I think he's doing an unbelievable job. I think it's normal to be inconsistent at his age. I think the system and the players around him are inconsistent for him to produce. I think his stats, he was second for teenagers across top 5 leagues for goals and assists. He ranked first for things like progression, ball carrying, which shows how much running he has to do, and his work rate. And I thought that, decision making will naturally improve, finishing will naturally improve. But I think for his age, he's in a good spot. And I think we're just being overcritical, nitpicking because he's going to be inconsistent because his run to the ground last year.
What are you saying, Bina?
Yeah, I think he's got the potential to be a good player. I think the environment is the most important thing. I know this is not the topic, but I was having a debate the other day on another channel, and we got rival fans saying that Kobe needs to leave Manchester United because it's not going to be good for his development. I'm not saying it's the same for Garnacho, but I'm saying if it continues to be seasons and seasons of scary football, we might never see him become that player. I don't know why. I know Marcel's saying Vinny and Rodrigo and Real Madrid is the kind of target destination, but they got 4 years on him. They got 5 years on him. The guy's only started playing consistent football last season. I don't know if you remember his first season coming into the team. He was in this bench role. He was coming off the bench, getting excited to score in Europa League and do the Sue. We need to give him time, and I agree with minutes managed and Kobe as well, because I look at a player like Kobe Mainoo and I think no preseason and you're dashed into Community Shield straight away and 3 games on the bounce in the Premier League. Garnacho last season, his hamstring was literally it was moving like flipping lamb. It was about to come off. So minutes is important as well. But yeah, I agree with KG, man. I don't know why we be shitting on our players like that. It's just we already have to fight rival fans, and now we have to fight ourselves in the fan base.
Yeah,